Hi, everybody.
Hi guys, hi time travelers.
Welcome on board for this third edition of Back to the Future Team Fox Adventure.
Yeah.
Welcome, and today we have a big program. So we will start with our friend Kevin. Kevin Bush.
Kevin Bush from the USA.
We'll have a new visit of Hill Valley, and today I think it's about the high school, perhaps.
Oh, the high school.
And Strickland House. Oh, be careful and don't be late.
Slacker.
Oh. So we will start in a few seconds with our friend Kevin. Next, we'll have a guest, which is an incredible artist. He has made a lot of things in Back to the Future. He has made a lot of designs, which are very beautiful, and those he didn't work only on Back to the Future. We see he have a lot of things, and he worked on a lot of movies, and of course it's the designer Michael Scheffe. We are very proud,
artist, very nice person
to welcome
Fantastic.
him on board.
Yeah.
So it will start with Michael in just 30 minutes. So keep here. And now we will launch.
Let's go to Hill Valley.
Exactly.
Let's go to Hill Valley with our friend Kevin.
So we'll had it, and Dave.
Hello.
Hi, Kevin.
Hi, can you all hear me okay?
Hello.
I'm wearing my mask.
How are you going today?
I'm good. Can you hear me?
Fine, yeah.
Okay, good. I'm going to wear my mask just because I'm out in public.
Okay, I have seen there is some trouble, but do your best.
Okay.
No.
If you can't hear me, let me know and I'll take it off. It's just if there's like people around, I like to have it on.
Okay.
There's less people yesterday.
We will check. No problem. Perfect, Kevin.
At the moment, it's okay. No problem.
Okay, good. So I'm here at the Whittier Union High School, Hill Valley High. I'm going to try to get, I can't see the image, so let me know. And also let me know, give me an idea of time, because I have no concept of time, of like how much time I have left.
Yep.
So just let me know when I should start wrapping it up. I don't know if you can see behind me, I'm at the school. Today is, in the United States, it's Columbus Day, or Indigenous People Day, as people are trying to make it now. So the school's actually closed, but even if it wasn't closed, there wouldn't be any kids here because everybody's virtual learning during the pandemic. But it's always a concern for me about coming to the school. It's a cool place to come, but you don't want to just come to a high school and hang out. So whenever I come, I try to be as obvious about why I'm here. Back to the Future, people here know that this school is in Back to the Future. They know its history in the movies. So that's my number one tip is if you're going to come visit, try not to come when the school's in session. Try not to come when there's kids around. Be as obvious as you can about your fandom. You don't want to be a weird person walking around a high school. So I'm going to turn the camera around here. So there is, first thing you'll notice is that there is a gate around the school. So in the past, we've been able to get in the school through permission. And that's always the best way. Don't try to like sneak in. Don't try to like get in like if a gate's open or whatever. Go during an event. Sometimes the schools might have like an open house or something. But there is a gate that surrounds the whole school, so that's for the safety of the students. But you can see essentially a lot of the things that you see in the movie. You can see through the gate. The first time I came here was actually years ago, and it was middle of the night, and you couldn't see anything. But yeah, so I'm gonna try to do my best to like shoot through the gate. But here, and I'm unfortunately because of this program, I can't zoom in or anything. But here you can see, this is the main building that we see in the school. This is the building where Marty skateboards up, Jennifer comes out this way, and then they come around this way to the back. And that's also, on these steps, that's also where you see the graffiti that says, Dangerous Bob and all that sort of stuff that we all know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so unfortunately I can't zoom in, but at the top it says Whittier Union High School. There's an administrative building, but during the making of the movie, they put in a false sign on top of that said Hill Valley High School. Let me try to get a better angle.
Mm-hmm. All right. So this is the main entrance this side.
This is the main entrance in the movie. As most older schools, as you can see, as most older schools, at least here in America, you have like the original building, and then they've built more things around it. And then, like my personal high school back home, the original main entrance became like something else. So here now, I think this building, you can't see it in this image, but here it says administration. That means that this building, which used to be, I'm supposed the main building, is now mainly like the office. You know, like when they send you to the office to the principal. This is, I don't know if they have classrooms and stuff in there anymore, but essentially, that's the main administrative entrance.
Okay.
This is what we see in the school. A little bit to the right is this other building that we don't see in the movie, and that's the library. We'll check that out in a little bit. But yeah, if you ever get a chance and to come during an event, we were lucky enough last year when the We're Going Back was unfortunately canceled. The school was still very nice and let the people who came from out of town, they let us come and explore the school, and they opened it up for us, and we walked around inside, and you can still kind of like you see where all the things happen. You can kind of like recreate the scenes, and it kind of makes sense geographically. In a lot of movies, they will cut things together, like, oh, this person's standing here and they look this way, and it doesn't make any sense in real life. Here it does. Like, you can walk through the halls and be like, Marty and Doc stood at this corner and they looked at George over here, and then they walked around this corner, and it's real. It's not just a bunch of editing that was done.
Okay.
So that's really nice about the school. If you ever get to go inside, let me see if I can get a better angle here. Now here I'm sticking my hand in through the gate, which I don't know if I should, but I'm gonna do it. But yeah, and then if you remember in the movie, they make it seem like people just like they just arrived, like Marty and Doc arrived and they're just there. But in reality, there's all this extra space here. So that's the main building. I'm gonna back up a little so you guys can see what's around here. We don't see any of this in the movie, but it's just good to know.
Those planes were hidden, yeah.
I'm sorry, say it again?
No, those planes, we don't see those planes in the movie. Yeah, we only see the main entrance of the school.
We only see this main entrance of the school.
Behind the scenes, no? Does it exist some behind the scenes about this school or not, Ken?
I'm sorry?
Is there some behind the scenes about this school or not?
Like some information about the school? I know that one of the things that the school is known for is that President Nixon came here. This is one of his schools. I'm going to go on the other side and you can see more of the other scenes. I don't have a lot of information about the actual like things that happened here behind the scenes. If anybody wants to chime in, I know some people know a little bit more about like what happened during the filming. I know they had to come back. I'm going to walk around the corner here, just give you guys that kind of idea of what this neighborhood looks like. Obviously, they had to come back for part 2 and reshoot everything. And some people, I've heard stories about people who lived around this area who saw the 50s cars, in 1984. And then a few years later, they were like, what's going on? It's happening again. It's like deja vu for them because they didn't realize that, the second movie would take place in the same place. So that must be kind of weird to be like, oh, they shot this movie here. And a few years later, it looks like they're shooting the same exact movie.
But they shoot even during the same times the college was open. So because if I remember, the date of the shooting was the same of the college was yet open. So they don't wait the close of the college at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Do they shot when the college was closed or not? Do you know that? Or
I don't know.
Difficult.
No, I don't know enough about that. I don't know enough about the actual how they shot it here. I'm a little bit behind on that information. I would have to assume that at least that building that they filmed in was closed because they can't just have kids walking around. But the rest of the school might have been open. That's not unheard of. So here we are. We're about to come over here to the back courtyard.
The back court. Yeah.
Ah, yeah.
So this is the whole back courtyard that we see during the Enchantment Under the Sea dance.
Yes.
When they park the car.
Excellent. Yeah.
Yeah.
When they park the car.
Yeah.
So they try to make it seem like this courtyard, this grassy area was a parking lot that kids would pull up their cars and park here. If you watch the movie, you can kind of tell that it's not, that it's literally just...
Oh, they have made a parking lot in this area, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, in the movie, it makes it seem like this is where people parked to come to school. But even I think even in the 50s, this was never a parking lot.
Never a parking.
And they try to, I think even these pavers that you see here, I could be wrong, but I feel like they weren't even there. I feel like they just drove the cars right up onto the grass. So yeah, if you watch the movie, if you watch it without thinking about it just looks normal. Yeah, somebody pulled into a parking lot, they walked to the school. But if you look at it knowing that this is actually a little courtyard, you can notice how weird it is. It's like if I don't know, if somebody parked on your front lawn, you know.
There is a nice tree here where George could play the peeping Tom with the schoolgirls, no?
Which, oh yeah. So the interesting thing is, so this is the library. We don't see the library, but I always talk about it because we're going back 2015. 2010. There was Bob Gale held a seminar there, so it was always kind of neat for us to be inside the library. We don't see it in the school. It's kind of, or in the movie, it's kind of neat to have been inside the Hill Valley Library for a little bit, and we took a little class from Professor Bob Gale. So the other interesting thing is that this building is the back or the other side of the other building that we saw from the front. And even though all the hallway stuff happens there, all the things with Doc and Marty and Jennifer and George, in part 2, when Marty follows Strickland to his office and then Marty runs out this way to the car, the idea is that Strickland's office is here. But there's not really an office, like a regular office like that there. That was all on a set. Strickland's office was in a set. This is the administrator office, but it's like this big open plan office. So it doesn't look like one person's office. It looks like just like a big office for many people, but they did film Marty's point of view over here. So I'm gonna walk around a little bit more, then get some context. Let me know how I'm doing on time, how much time I have left.
No, it's okay.
No, it's okay. We have,
okay.
We have still
15 minutes.
15 minutes.
No problem.
Okay.
You're on time, Kevin. Formidable.
So here's a better view. So when Marty drove his car or drove Doc's car in, he parked it somewhere over here. And we see it better in part 2 when we're getting a shot from over here. But he parked it over here. So then after Marty follows Strickland to the office, which is there's not really an office there, he runs out this way from this area over here and sees George punch out Biff in part 2. I wish I had, unfortunately, I have a longer lens that could get closer, but I can't use it with this application. So just bear with me.
Cool.
No, it's very cool. Yeah.
In the scene in the past, it's very cool, Kevin. No problem.
Yeah, I'm going to find a better spot here. Okay, here's another shot of the courtyard. So as you can see, again, it's just a courtyard. It's not a parking lot. But they did park other cars there. I think Marty's car's parked around here because in part 2 you see like second Marty like duck in underneath. This building over here, and we'll get close to it, is what in the movie is kind of shown to be like the auditorium, even though that's not actually where the Enchantment of the Sea dance was filmed. That was filmed at a different location at a church in Hollywood. Where are the stairs where Marty hides himself? Oh yeah, so that's my next thing that I was going to show. I'm trying to find a good angle for it. So right here, It's hard to see, but you see like this fence here. Let's see if I can get a higher angle. You see like this fence here. These are the stairs where Marty, Biff is hanging out here. Marty like jumps behind and tries to grab the almanac. I wish I had a better angle, but what's funny about those stairs is that fall is actually really high. If Marty actually did jump from that, he would have probably broken something. It's really far. It's not realistic. And
SFX.
yeah, if you see it in real life, it's not realistic. But was that the question? Was where Marty hides from Biff, or was there a different question of where?
No, it was the stairs about this scene. No problem.
Manu says on the other side.
Yes, Manu McFly on the other side. On the other side. Perhaps to have a better view, but I don't think so.
Let me see if I can move back around here. Yeah, it's when you're here, obviously it's easier in person with the camera. It's hard to get those nice shots. No, those are trees.
Sure. Yeah.
This is why it's great to try to come to these events, because we can. The school is actually really cool about. They embrace their history. I wish I could remember what other films were filmed here. I want to say Grease, but I'm probably 100% wrong about that. But the school is very cool about here's a better angle. About Back to the Future.
Yeah.
So here, you can kind of see the stairs there.
Exactly. Yeah. You see the stairs.
And there's a gate. There's a fence there because obviously I think they're trying to keep kids out of there because maybe they're trying to recreate the scene. And then
it was the answer to another guy. So yes, we could see the stairs.
And it's interesting. I'm really into locations, going to filming locations, but I'm also, in terms of filmmaking, I'm really into location scouting. And I like I'm really into how locations are used in movies. And I really like how Zemeckis and all of them used all this area, like really geographically. It makes sense. Like it could almost play out like a stage play. A lot of movies, they cut things together and it doesn't make sense. But here, here's the auditorium. They come out this way. Biff is hanging out here. Strickland comes. Marty comes behind him, falls, and then they follow Strickland this way and go into that building. And then here is where Marty's looking at him, and George punch out Biff, and then Marty runs out from somewhere here. It just makes sense. It's not faked. It's fake, but it's geographically it all blocks out perfectly in real life. So I really like that. Back to the Future does that a lot. A lot of the physical location stuff makes sense.
Yeah, because it works in real life, right?
Yeah, and that's always fun for me. The same thing when we go to the Twin Pines Mall. I'll show you that the actual car chase scene makes sense. It works. It's not. I mean, they probably don't go as fast or as long as they do in the movie, but you can drive the actual car chase. Where in a lot of movies you can't replicate car chases because it's a dozen different locations cut together. What was I going to show you guys from over here? This is kind of interesting because I just figured this out last time I was here.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Is the roof scene in the movie was shot here in the school or was it in a studio? That's a good question. I don't know. Somebody told me it was shot here, but it's hard to believe that they put a DeLorean on the roof. And then a while ago I realized that in part 2, there's 2 roof scenes. There's the roof scene at Biff's casino, and then there's the roof scene at school. And there's something that tells me as a filmmaker that they just created a generic roof set, and then they just dressed it to look like the school or dressed it to look like the casino. So I have to believe my instinct would be to say that was created in a studio because it would just be too difficult. But I could be 100% wrong because I feel like somebody did say it was at the school.
Yeah, I don't know the answer too, but I imagine it'd be easier to make the shot in the studio, making a false roof. Yeah,
especially if you have to have a car up there, So this little area, this little walkway, this last time we were here, I noticed that. So the scene with Doc and Marty talking back and forth to each other inside the school takes place down inside this building, and then if you look out behind them, there's a set of doors, and we think that's the front door, but it's not. It's actually the doors that lead to this little walkway. So that's just kind of like essentially the scene with Marty and Doc takes place inside this building, then goes back and forth this way. I'm going to walk you guys around a little bit more. Something to consider that somebody brought up recently in one of the groups, which I thought was a very interesting thing, was, is Strickland the principal of Hill Valley or just the disciplinarian? And the idea is that there's a different job title that's just disciplinarian. Nobody calls him Principal Strickland. Nobody in the whole movie or in the whole trilogy, nobody calls him Principal Strickland.
No, or perhaps we could see that item on the scenarios, no? On the
I'm sorry?
Sheet. Perhaps we could have this information on the call sheets.
Yeah. Well, but yeah, even in the credits and things, like I think it wasn't until the comic books that they referred to him as principal. But that might have, or he might have been the principal in 85, but in 55 he might have still been like just the person in charge of discipline.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting, his office says discipline. It doesn't say principal, it doesn't say dean. Here's a better angle of those stairs and a better angle of the courtyard. You can see the whole court. You see how big it is. And then this is the building that supposed to be the auditorium. It actually is the auditorium. Yeah, that's not a good angle. I'm trying to find some good angles here. Can you see the door, the stairs during part 2, steal my stuff bit where Biff kicks Marty in the stomach? I'm going to try to go. You mean if you're talking about when they're at the door and then Marty 1 hits Marty 2 with the door, that was partially at the church, and I think it's partially here. I'm going to try to go back there. I was back there during this last event for the first time, but I don't know if I can get there from here. But let's take a little walk.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you a few other things, but you can actually you can start seeing Strickland's house right over here. So it's interesting that for part 2, they actually found. I'll get closer to Strickland's house, but they actually found the house.
Closest to it and
like I think that for some reason they were like, we were supposed to see the school burn down and then see Marty run to the school. I believe the reason they chose that house is because you see the auditorium right down the street. So I think the idea was that Strickland's supposed to live down the street from the high school, and there's actually somebody on the street there on the porch for Strickland's house, which is always a little awkward. I think the folks at Marty McFly's house are used to it, but I'm always a little bit concerned about other people at other houses when they're like, "Why is this person filming?"
So on this side
so
is the main student, right? Or no? Was it the main?
Say it again.
On this side.
This side, no. This side is still the auditorium. This is the auditorium for the school. Yeah, the main entrance is essentially where it is in the movie.
On the other side.
Yeah, the main entrance is where it is in the movie, but it's just that building isn't the main building anymore.
Oh, with the logo of the football team, no? Which logo is it, Kevin? We could see in the wall.
I'm sorry?
Which logo is it? The logo we could see on the wall. We have seen a red logo.
Oh, it's the Whittier. Yeah, it's a Whittier. This is they're the Cardinals, Whittier Cardinals.
Cardinals.
Hey.
Cardinals.
I'm just filming a little live stream about Back to the Future. They filmed it here. So I was just talking to a police officer who was at
journalist.
But I think so here I think this is this area here. This is the doorway where or this whole little area is the doorway where Biff and Marty have the confrontation, and they obviously had a fake window.
Exact. Yeah.
And then I think this is also the area where I'm going to try to stick this in.
Yeah, I could confirm this
is the area. I think this is the area where Marvin, Barry. It's a little hard. There's a bunch of gates here now, so. But I think this whole area here is where like Marvin. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is where. When they run and throw Marty in a car, I think the car is somewhere around here, and then Marvin, Barry, and all the other guys come out and chase the guys away. I've never been in this location before, or been only once, so I'm not 100% clear. But yeah, this is essentially that side of the school where the where Biff's goons come and throw him in. Yes. But I'm pretty sure. I think last time I was here, we figured out that these doors were the doors where Biff and Marty have their confrontation, and obviously the other side of that confrontation was done at the church, the stairwell at the church. And I think over here, I think this whole area is when like Marty runs up to the roof and all that sort of stuff. So it's a little hard to show you because it's all blocked off by the gate. But this actually is the auditorium. Huh? No, it's like it's not a YouTube page. It's like a live stream that somebody's doing right now, and every day I'm going to the different locations in LA where they shot the film.
Oh, okay.
So it's the 35th anniversary. So
I know. I've been watching like on the Reform channel or whatever. It's on like watching like the third one yesterday.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, the police officer said that I told him it's 35th, and he's like, "Oh, I know. I've been watching them all week."
There is a picture now Doc want to...
Yeah, I wanted to know, Kevin, are there no commemorative plaques somewhere on the high school? Or?
As far as I know, there isn't. Am I still connected? Yeah. As far as I know, there isn't. But this is because I think in LA, everything's shot everywhere. Like every single corner drugstore is there. They filmed 3 movies there. But the school, they've always been really cool about this. And then they actually have a little map that they give us when we do events that they made. They made this map that shows all the locations. And I kind of wish I would have brought it now to visualize it better. I'm sorry that I forgot to bring that. But they're very proud of it. They're very into it. They've been...
They made the map. And if you go inside, because I was lucky to went inside 2 years ago, and have inside a little place where they put all the memories of the college, and inside there is a little and some photos about these scenes in Back to the Future. Yeah, as you said, they are very proud that the location was used in the movie.
They were. You would think that as a school they would be like, but no, they like it. The kids like it. One of my favorite memories from more going back 2010, which was a smaller event in 2015, was we would go to these locations, and we actually had permission for these, but some of the places we just showed up, and it would be like 100 people, 50 people, and we came here and we were inside the school, and then somebody drove the DeLorean in over here. This kind of happened last year too for our last minute event. And then the people from the neighborhood came out and they were like hanging out, and the kids from the school were. So I always like that when we do events, when we go to places and we bring the cars and we bring the actors, people in the neighborhood, everybody knows what Back to the Future is, so they all come out and enjoy it too. But it's a nice little surprise for them. But so this is interesting. This is what I like. So here's Strickland's house, and let me know how much time I have left. But I'm almost done.
And now in 1 or 2 minutes, Kevin.
I'm sorry.
We are to end in 1 or 2 minutes. You have
Okay. So here's Strickland's house, and I don't want to get too close because I don't want to violate people's privacy. But yeah, here's Strickland's house. And you can see the porch. You can see how the porch is. That's the area where where Marty and Strickland. But this is what's interesting to me. Is this shot here, and you see it in the movie. Marty runs down this way and down this way, and that's the auditorium. So yeah, they were trying to make it clear that that Strickland lived near the school, and then also it's clear that this is the exterior of the Chapman of the Sea Dance Auditorium, which I think is kind of neat. That this is also this whole area back when we watched the movie. I don't know how many people noticed, but yeah, that building is the school. And then here we go, and then there's Strickland's house.
Okay. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you.
Okay. It really was awesome time travel. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Very interesting, and we hope that we could see, and I'm sure a lot of people have learned a lot of new things. So it was very interesting, a lot of information, and you're lucky. It's a sunny day for you in LA. Not the same thing in France.
Yes.
Okay. So
Yes,
thank
100%.
Thank you so much, Kevin.
was a real pleasure.
Okay,
And
bye guys.
bye-bye.
See you later.
Bye.
See you tomorrow.
See you
See you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Oh, here we are again. Here we're
Always
again.
in Hill Valley.
Exactly. And we're very proud
Very proud.
to welcome on board
Who?
Mr. We try to make our best to change the banner, and now Mr. Scheffe with us. Thank you, Michael.
Hello, Michael.
Hi. Is the sound working well? I don't know. I think up. We will try to.
Unmute. How about this?
Perfect.
Okay, perfect.
Bonjour and hello.
Bonjour. Hello, Michael.
And we're very happy because we know that your French is better than her English.
You're very kind, but I'm not sure that it's true.
No, sure,
We are sure.
So I will put the thing like that. Okay. Michael, it's a real pleasure to welcome you on board today because you have made a lot of things for Back to the Future, particularly in the design. And wow, when I see all the designs you have made and all the things you have done for Back to the Future, the brainwave analyzer, the Mr. Fusion, etc. Wow, it's really interesting and very wow. I have no word in English to tell. Is it?
Right.
No, you're one of the designers which have made a lot of things, but particularly things very interesting, like Mr. Fusion, the brainwave analyzer, which are a piece of history about Back to the Future. So, and to imagine those things 35 years ago, wow, how creative you are. It's incredible. Incredible.
I was very lucky. J'étais si chanceux. Yeah. So I had the opportunity to have some fun. And it's nobody is more surprised than me. Moi, je suis le plus étonné du monde. Hein? So.
And give some fun to the people because during this movie, we talk about it 35 years after. So wow, the job was done and very well done.
Yeah.
It's incredible to me. It's incroyable that still people remember the movie, still people love the movie. When you make a movie, you have no idea if it will be a success or no, right? You have no idea, especially if you design little things, right? You work on a car, you work on this little thing. You don't write the script. You're not an actor. You're not the cinematographer. You're not a director. You're not responsible for the publicity budget, la publicité, tout cela. And so the movie is always a surprise. Will it be a success or no? You have no idea. But 35 years later, to talk to friends 8,000 miles away, it's unbelievable, right? It's unbelievable.
Incredible.
Yeah, for me too. You should know. It's unbelievable for me.
No, it's very interesting that you said, because particularly when you work on those design about some things in the movie, you don't know at the moment how do they works on it in the movie. So having, for example, designing the Mr. Fusion, wow, now the Mr. Fusion is something very interesting because it's part of a main scene. But at the moment when you design it, nobody knows that the scene will be considered as a main scene.
And
you know?
something that expresses a lot today because we speak more and more of ecology and something that could be real. So your creativity was so huge that all that what you invented, your contribution is as important as an actor finally, because these things seems to be real for us, and especially the world of 2015, you were not so far from the reality finally.
Some things were very close to the things we have now, so incredible.
You are very kind. Vous êtes très gentil. If you would like to talk about Mr. Fusion a little, I'm happy to talk about Mr. Fusion.
I will launch, as we have seen, a little presentation up. So that way, I think a lot of people could see now the presentation, because we have to make sense for French people and some guys who don't understand very well English. So this way, everything is written, so it's very easy to understand, more easier the question, etc. So here we have the presentation, and up, I will go there, up. So the presentation of you, and we'll start with a little trailer that we have yet done in the Facebook, and we'll make some focus, particularly about some vehicles, because you work on 3 main vehicles. Wow, it's incredible, because all of those 3 are well known in the world.
Yeah.
The KIT machine, and the DeLorean car, and of course the DS taxi cab. Wow, it's incredible, because those cars were now not only
the best known, the most famous cars.
The most famous cars. Speaking about movies cars, there's a lot of movies and a lot of cars well known, for sure. But
je voudrais dire, I would like to say, croyez-moi, just believe me, there are many more vehicles that are not well known.
For Back to the Future,
in any case, for us,
no, the other vehicles, the other movie, but it doesn't matter. It's not important. No, those ones are very incredible, particularly the KIT car on the series. Wow, it's incredible. So here we could see some sketch, Michael, you have made, and we will talk about it after, because we could go through the question and to speak about some sketches to see how difficult it was to imagine those, and perhaps you work some blueprints and you have a direction to make it, or was it all your imagination? So we'll speak about it later. But now I wanted people to see some of the things you have done, because you have done many things, not only speaking about movies, but you have done many things on many worlds. But particularly speaking about movies, the Knight Riders, of course, because you were construction coordinator for that. The Back to the Future trilogy, of course, you have made a lot for us and for the movie, and Starship Troopers, Spider-Man, Seabiscuit. But as I said, your work is so on many parts, not only movies, so you have done a lot of things. So now that what I want is, I will change the presentation to permit people to see you better, up that way,
the other way.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I want to focus on those cars, Kevin, because as I said, okay, I agree with you. There's a lot of those cars and well known in a lot of movies, but those one, KIT, the DeLorean, and the DS taxi cab are very important for us, not only for the Back to the Future fans, because we will talk also about KIT, but because of the designs of those cars. The KIT car is something that entering in, it's like you are in another planet, because a lot of new things for this car. And was it easy to make the design of this one? Because I think at the beginning, when they demand you to work on the project, do they give you the things that they wanted into the car, or do they let you to have your imagination putting some things in it? Because the final result of the KIT is very incredible. It seems that it was the future car of the movie, but rightly made, you know. So how difficult it was to make this one, Kevin. Michael, sorry.
For me, it was a lot of fun. The difficulty, le problème, c'est toujours le temps. There's never enough time for anything. So the question is, what will you do in the time that you have? That's really the big question. You know, I studied to be a car designer, and I came to Los Angeles to study that. And so I had many ideas about design, and I worked on many small movies that the world forgot. Les films bien oubliés maintenant.
The big movies.
I worked on many little movies, though. And when I got a call, hey, would you like to come talk to us about a car. It will drive itself, right? And it will talk, and it is the product of a company with lots of money, right? It's not an inventor in his backyard. It's a company with lots of money that built this thing. And we are going to get a brand new Pontiac, une voiture toute neuve pour construire une sorte de prototype. Hein? So a brand new car. It is not even really manufactured. It is a car, a pilot car from the factory. La voiture venait directement de l'usine, toute neuve. So it was an incredible challenge just with the time. And I have many ideas. Information, it should be directly in front of the driver. Tous les renseignements et les infos doivent être directement devant le conducteur. Hein? And also, I like the idea that we could show information two ways, numériquement, et aussi avec bar graph. So we're showing both a number and a graph for everything. You don't care if the water, it's 212 degrees or it's 213 degrees. You care, it's hot. La chose la plus importante, c'est savoir que l'eau est chaude, pas que l'eau est quelques degrés ou 100 degrés ou 101 degrés. C'est pas si important. So to show the information, we built all of the displays. On a construit toutes les jauges. C'est le mot, hein?
Les jauges.
Oui, jauge. Okay, bon. We built all of that. We made all of the little bars, and I had a week for the design. And I said, "Where will you build this?" Because they said, "Oh, on voudrait bien tourner le film dans 3 semaines. They want to film in 3 weeks." So. Okay, so where are you going to build this? And then the producer is a genius, man. Glenn Larson était le producteur et créateur du feuilleton. Hein? Bon, je voudrais bien faire mes excuses de mon français d'abord. Hein? First, I have to make some apologies for my French. All right. He venait directement du lycée, hein, which comes straight from high school. So forgive me. All right. So the producer is a genius, Glenn Larson, and he had many good ideas. And he said, well, I don't know. I'm not sure. I said, look, I will make sure this car gets built. I will build it with some friends, huh? And we will guarantee it will be done in 3 weeks. So, okay. And so we had very little time, and we made all the gauges. I sculpted all of the... on a utilisé une sorte de mousse de plastique, a kind of plastic foam I shaped, like to make a surfboard. Huh? So then I put the fiberglass on that, and we painted it. It was so much work, but it came together very well. And after that, this is my first big project for the movies or TV. After that, it was easy to find work. Après cette aventure, c'était plus simple de trouver l'emploi parce que tout le monde aux États-Unis, tout le monde a vu le feuilleton. Oui, everyone saw it.
Yeah.
It's a big challenge. Mostly time. A big problem is always time.
Okay. Lack of time for this one. Wow. But even with little time, you have made an incredible work, Michael. You have to know.
Sure.
But we have to say that the work is, it's still 3/4 the Pontiac that you see. La voiture est 3/4 Pontiac, hein?
Yes.
Oui.
Yeah. The most stunning cars ever. For sure. Okay. And so lack of time for this one, but the result is incredible, Michael, incredible. And about the DeLorean, you continue the design made by Ron Cobb and Andrew Probert, I think, to have more sketches and perhaps definitely sketches that could be used as blueprints or something like that for the to make the car. So when you enter in Back to the Future and they told you to design this car and to continue the work, was it easier to continue a work started by Ron and by Andrew, or will it be easier to make your own, starting from zero? What's the difficulty of continuing a work made by others?
Back to the Future was a lot of fun. I did not know about the movie at all. And a very nice guy named Mike Fink gave me a call and said, would you like to come? I need an assistant. You want to work on this show? Un homme très talentueux. Mike Fink était la liaison entre le département de art à Amblin Films et l'atelier de Kevin Pike. So this guy, Mike Fink, he's a liaison. He's going back and forth between the real art department for the movie and Kevin Pike's shop, Film Tricks, where the cars were built. And he says, I need someone who knows how things are built and who loves to draw. So that's good for me, because I thought, I will build airplanes. J'avais une formation comme mécanicien, technicien pour les avions. I was trained to be an aircraft mechanic, and I love always to build things. So Mike said, okay, come share with us, come on board and you can help, because the true reason I had the job was because there were no blueprints and no time to make them. So to build the car, the crew needed to interpret Ron Cobb's and Andy Probert's sketches. Donc, la raison que j'avais l'occasion de travailler sur Retour au futur, était que les vrais plans architecturaux leur manquaient. Et pour construire la voiture, l'équipe avait dû interpréter les esquisses de Ron Cobb et Andy Probert. Donc
c'était beaucoup plus dur. It was more difficult.
Moitié-moitié. It's half and half. The design, it's done. But what is it really? When they draw the pictures, they are just imagining things. And may I say, two extremely talented guys. Ron Cobb, so gifted, doué, fort. Et Andy Probert, il était classmate. Je l'ai rencontré à l'université. I knew Andy for years from school. Super talented guy. So it's a pleasure to see their work. But really, what does it mean in terms of dimensions and parts? We have, in English, we have an expression, a treasure hunt. La chasse pour chercher un trésor, quoi. And the treasure hunt, you go have a list and you go around the city and you try to find things on the list. And that's Back to the Future for me.
It was your mission to find the treasure.
To find tous les trucs électroniques, tous les trucs, les tuyaux, les interrupteurs. I had to find hoses and switches and all this crazy stuff that would look correct. And then I draw the pictures. Really, my job, it was to take pictures of this junk that I found and take and make drawings and sketch how these parts will look built into the car. Donc la responsabilité était de prendre des photos et toutes sortes de trucs que j'ai trouvés pour la voiture, les esquisser comme des parties potentielles, puis-je dire ça, du décor, et aller au département de l'art à Amblin. So I go to Amblin, and if the production designer, Larry Paul, and the art director, Todd Hallowell, agree, then I go back to Filmtrix and I give the drawings to the team, and they can continue their work. Donc, si le production designer et directeur d'art étaient d'accord, je suis rentré chez Kevin. Son atelier s'appelait Filmtrix, comme vous savez très bien, sans doute. Donner les esquisses à l'équipe et les travaux continués.
Wow.
So we can imagine you had a lot of technical documentation. You worked with a lot of pictures, all what can exist finally to put it together.
Yes, I made many sketches, many sketches.
Find the right combination, yeah.
And I spent a lot of time driving around town, taking pictures of junk. And
yeah, because to find all those things, where did you find it? You have to look everywhere. Sure.
In fact, here in Los Angeles is a big city, and there are many kinds of businesses here.
Yeah.
And there is big business in selling military surplus to the public. And there are shops that specialize in this. And I find many parts there.
Many parts there. Okay. So your inspiration is also from the military area.
Yeah, in the DeLorean, that's right. We see a lot of parts that are typical.
So it could be an army weapon, the DeLorean. Be careful. Going to it could be dangerous.
And I want to give my apologies to the people who build replica cars. Je voudrais bien faire mes excuses aux constructeurs au présent de les répliques de la voiture, parce que because the parts are not easy to find for us. It was no problem. Now it's trouble.
That's true.
Okay, but you apologize. Okay. I'm sure the owners of the DeLorean machine are very happy with the car. Yeah. And finally, the other beauty that you made in the, you have made a lot, but this one is typically a real beauty in the Back to the Future 2, because it's a flying car, a French car now, and a flying car. So and yellow, and so you could note it very well, because wow, when you see the screen up, you see it everywhere. So this is, of course, the DS taxi cab. Did you work on sketches to design it, or was it easy, or did you make the sketches from the beginning, or how did you come on this design for this car, Michael?
In a way, the design, it started because I did another vehicle for Doc Brown. They said, oh, he should have a flying amphibious van. Les producteurs m'ont demandé de designer une camionnette amphibie et volante pour remplacer l'ancienne de Doc Brown au futur.
I will try to see...
it's the Brown Research car?
Oui, exactement. It's the Brown Research truck. Exactly.
Yeah, wonderful.
The Brown Research.
So I made many sketches of that, but it was very sensible. It made sense because it had front-wheel drive, tandem wheels at the back, very wide, flat floor, really good for interior shots. And I proposed a high cabin and the windshield and doors from a kit car avec traction avant, gros moteur, les roues arrière, tandem et plancher plat. C'était idéal pour le tournage, surtout l'intérieur. J'ai proposé une cabine avancée en haut, oui, utilisant le pare-brise et les portes d'une voiture en kit qui s'appelait le montage, bon nom français. C'était une copie de la Chevron B16, je crois. Mais malheureusement, ils ont déjà épuisé les fonds nécessaires. So unfortunately, they ran out of money for this.
They canceled this
So
project.
the producers, they asked me to help with the Citroën taxi that John Bell had sketched. So of course I said yes. So of course, because John Bell, je l'ai rencontré aussi à l'université. Il était un ami auparavant et il me faisait grand plaisir de travailler avec lui. I knew John as a student at Art Center also. Like Andy Probert, we were all at Art Center. We were all car design students, huh? And John went to General Motors, and then he was working up north at ELM, oui, l'atelier de George Lucas. Huh? And so John, he made a great little concept sketch of a flying taxi that had this feel of a Citroën DS. J'aime bien le nom DS comme goddess. I love the name DS because it means goddess in French, right? This is it's genius. So I asked John how he'd feel about making the real car for the movie on a real Citroën, and he said that'd be neat.
So the idea of the sketch on a Citroën DS, it was you. I thought it was which made the sketches as on the Citroën DS.
Okay, so there are 27 people in the art department. Il y avait 27 personnes dans le département d'art sur Back to the Future, la partie 2. But many ideas from many people, and most things we did were from the team. Donc les designs venaient d'une équipe, pas seulement une personne. Oui. Et it was John. John avait fait un beau dessin, concept sketch pour le taxi volant avec l'esprit et le sens d'une Citroën DS. Donc, je lui ai demandé comment penser d'une voiture basée sur une vraie Citroën. Il m'a dit oui, cela sera chouette. Donc, je suis allé photographier, mesurer une vraie DS et faire les plans à l'échelle. So I went to take pictures of a real DS, and I made the drawings to scale, and we sketched over that to make sure this had the feeling of his concept drawing. And John, il avait le temps pour dessiner la voiture d'un angle 3/4 devant, et moi j'ai esquissé l'aspect d'arrière. Aspect arrière,
Ouais.
Pardon. Je vous ai déjà fait mes excuses, donc voilà.
C'est parfait,
Perfect.
c'est parfait.
Then we designed the interior, the instruments, the beverage cooler, the meter, the fabric for the seats, all this other stuff. And I put together a package and visited some shops to see who wanted to build it and how much it would cost. Donc, ensemble, on a dessiné l'intérieur, le tableau de bord, un petit frigo pour boissons, le compteur, l'étoffe, les sièges et tout autre détail. J'ai rassemblé les plans et les esquisses, tapé une liste de choses à faire et j'ai rendu visite à quelques ateliers pour savoir qui voulait le construire et combien cette bagnole allait coûter.
Pas trop cher, pas trop cher.
Are there some details, Mike, that were not used, that you conceived but were not used in the final version?
Because it was too costly or things like that?
Yes.
We personalized the car because I made graphics for stickers for the car, les autocollants. Oui, je les ai dessinés, et John aussi. And if you look closely, you will see our birthdays for the numbers. You'll see other things there. Yeah. And later, I had the chance to imagine how the wheels fold down. And much later, I went to see the car in Holland. A wonderful guy bought it on eBay and wanted to make a scale model with Norev. So he wanted to film and record a DVD with info on the car and interviews with John and myself. So, should I say this in French or no?
No, it's okay. It's okay. Everybody understand. Everybody knows the story.
Yeah. So, people say, well, can the taxi really fly? And I say, yes, it got me all the way to Europe.
Well said.
It's unbelievable. And what a great thing to work with John again, too. What an incredible guy.
He's an incredible. We will meet him in 2 or 3 days, I think, with the designer Joanna Johnson.
Joanna is just a superb talent, too. They're both wonderful people and so gifted.
A lot of friends. And I am lucky to talk and to have many friends in the Back to the Future world. And you seem all friends and happy to have worked on this franchise, because at the beginning, when, as you said, when you work and when you start to work on the Back to the Future, nobody knows that it will be a hit. 30 years later, we speak again about Back to the Future. So at the moment, all the crew members and all the people working on the movie, even with a lot of change, for example, when Eric Stoltz was changed for Michael, etc. But all of you guys were in a friendly place, and you work as many friends. Even if I know it was very hard, because a lot of you have worked long hours per day, because some shoots were in the night, and at the morning, early in the morning, you had to restart, etc. So it was hard, but even it was a hard work. Nobody said, "Oh, it was very hard. I didn't appreciate the work on it." You're very happy, all of you, to have worked in Back to the Future.
All of you say it was a lot of fun, and that's strange, because that's something you can feel. Exactly. In fact, when you see the movie, in fact, we see that it was like a family. That's what all you say. All you guests who worked on the film, on the movie. And we can feel that you were all together, included in the project, and the contribution of each one, and that's why you are so important, all of you, actors, like also all the designers and so on, like you, Michael, because your contribution is absolutely part of the movies, and without it wouldn't be the same. It wouldn't be the same, not so remarkable.
Well, look. All of us on that movie, it was not the first movie for anyone working on it, right? We all loved what we did, and we had a chance to work on a movie that was a beautiful little movie, and to do something you love is a privilege. Everyone felt that way. Yes, you get a check, okay, so they pay you, but that is not really why people worked on that movie. It was because they loved what they were doing. Yes, you have to support yourself in this life, but it's something you enjoy. It's a big privilege.
This is the way you have to work, to enjoy yourself, and to have pleasure working, and to give pleasure to
it's like people. Passion.
Exactly.
Well, life is short. I don't mean to be too philosophical. Life is short, and to find something you care about and have a little chance, petite occasion de travailler, a little chance to work something you care about. I know we were all so lucky.
Yeah, it's a very good message. You're right, Michael.
Okay, so we will continue. Michael, you said, oh no, I have another thing, because you have yet spoke about it a little. So perhaps we could speak about blueprints now and sketches, because it's time to make a little contest.
Let's do a little contest.
There is I will put, if I take the mouse, I will put this thing for the contest. This is, as you know, a puzzle.
This is a micro puzzle.
Oh, wow.
And
puzzle made by Michael J. Fox Foundation.
$14
For Team Fox.
And there is a little question, which is very easy because you said the answer a few minutes ago, and it's not a problem. The first of the people who are seeing us, who put the answer on the comments, will win the puzzle. It is, I will put up the, so in Back to the Future, you work with continue Ron Cobb's and Henry Provost's works by making more definitive sketches, particularly based on the DeLorean Time Machine's part. As you said, blueprints and advanced sketches were used by Kevin Tim to build the car, and you work closely with Kevin Pye, of course, but with another person, which is gentle, and which is a visual effect of Back to the Future, and you said his name a few minutes ago. So the question is, who is this person which you work closely to make the sketches and who involved you in the Back to the Future, as you said? So
I'm so happy you have this question because it's so important to give this guy credit.
Person. It's a remarkable person.
And it's someone, we don't speak a lot, sadly, but who was really important, as you said, Michael, in the project.
Exact. Hey, we are, and I see that we have our winner.
Yeah, we have already a winner.
Yes, and the winner, I will put the comment here. It's the first one is David Ferguson.
Bravo.
Eric, I
Congrats,
love you.
David.
Eric, you put also the answer, so I will give you also a puzzle, okay? Because you're my friend.
You have chance, we have 2 puzzles.
And David and Eric, bravo. This is the answer. Yeah, you spoke about Michael Fink, and I love also the work he did. And as Doug said, he made an incredible work also in Back to the Future. So you work closely with him, and it's important that his name could be here today with us and to speak about the work he did, because we know John Bell, and he's a remarkable designer, and a lot of other people, but in fact, I don't know if people know really the works that Michael Fink have done in Back to the Future. So, I'm happy to speak about today. Yes.
Mike Fink is at USC, a big university here in their film school now. And he was, he had received an offer to join another film, and he asked me if I wanted to replace him. And at that stage, thanks to Mike Fink, they had just about finished the sheet metal work on the rear deck and the flux bands around the car, and he found many parts. He was a super nice guy. They did not have the money to hire me as his assistant, but as it worked out, I ended up with his job. And they were, we say, big shoes to fill. He was a very talented, smart guy, can do anything. Really liked him.
Yeah. Thank you for speaking about him.
Yeah. And congratulations, Eric da Costa. I know Eric from some past rencontres in France, actually, and a great guy. And Mr. Ferguson, I'm sure, as well.
Exactly. Both friends, and Eric particularly, because he's member of our association.
88 Makers, our association.
So I'm very happy those guys won. Now, wow, this is a question. If I will put up the image in full screen. So if you could travel through time, Michael, with the DeLorean Time Machine, of course, when and where?
It's a big question, huh? It's big. It's big. It's very big. So, I would love to see how the Egyptians made the pyramids. I would love to see that. How did they... Je voudrais bien voir comment les Égyptiens pouvaient construire les pyramides. And to visit Greece of maybe 400 years before Christ, to see Athens, huh? Voir Athènes 400 ans avant Jésus-Christ. Et même voir Jésus lui-même. It would be great to see Jesus. I mean, who am I? I'm nobody. But how amazing, right? The Buddha, that would be great too. I'd love to meet the Buddha, right?
If you have sufficient plutonium, you could make different travels. So you could go in Egypt, in Greece.
You're the designer of Mr. Fusion. You can.
Right.
You could travel at one time.
I'd love to see Japan, say around the time of Hokusai. I'd love to hear a concert of Johann Sebastian Bach, right? To speak to him. Imagine that. Or how would you say no to visit with Da Vinci or Michel-Ange, Michelangelo, Pascal, Newton, Montaigne, right? Oh my God, that's amazing. And you know,
real to have a which is able to travel. Why it's not real? Wow. So
I would love to go. J'aurais voulu aller à un concert de Françoise Hardy, années 60, 70, qui a du charme, du talent, une certaine légèreté, mais en même temps qui chantait du fond du cœur, qui est parmi les plus beaux êtres humains de toute l'histoire du monde, à mon avis. I'd love to go to a Françoise Hardy concert in the 60s. Or 70s, and she had such charm, has charm, a talent, and a lightness, you know, a lovely person. I would love to see her sing.
So we know you love a lot France and history of France and culture of France, and here you prove it once more. Thank you.
You have a lot of French culture, and as I said, your French is perfect.
Yeah, absolutely.
No problem. Absolutely perfect.
You know, if it would be possible to avoid somehow prevent some big wars, that would be probably the best use of the DeLorean. Maybe a little more important. I
presume Doc built it for that reason, to avoid some big catastrophe and some big paradox. So,
right.
Sure. So thank you for this answer, Michael. It's very interesting, and be happy if you one day if you meet Jesus. Say hello.
I'm not so sure now. On garde ses espoirs. I'm hanging on to my hopes as far as that goes.
So one day perhaps. One day. Good luck. And now next slide. What is your best souvenir on this set of Back to the Future?
Okay, so best souvenir.
And I'm sure you have a lot of.
Yeah. You know, the car was nearly done, and I got out this Dymo label maker. C'était un truc pour fabriquer les étiquettes. Mm-hmm. And I made a little warning, avertissement, for the flux capacitor that said shield eyes from light. So it's just the kind of warning that an absent-minded professor might add, right? It's a little scary, and at the same time, it's silly because he built the car, so he doesn't need a reminder. C'était justement la sorte d'avertissement qu'un prof distrait aurait voulu ajouter. En plus, c'était un peu effrayant. Il a fallu ajouter un petit frisson de peur en voyant la machine, oui. Mais en même temps, c'était un peu absurde parce que c'était lui qui a bâti la machine avec ses propres mains. Donc, it was perfectly summed up the whole nature of the project, right? Cela résumait parfaitement la nature même du projet.
Du personnage.
A little scary, a little silly, a little powerful, you know? Yeah.
And I have seen one comment which is very funny. And there is no only one. There's a lot of comments.
Yeah, more are asking for that.
Sing, and another one. Michael, please sing for Cesardi. We all know that your French is very cool and perfect.
And we know you are a musician.
You're also a musician, so I don't know if you want to release the challenge.
Mais pas du tout chanteur, hein?
Yeah.
I'm not a singer.
You can play the oboe.
Yeah, I can play the oboe. How do you know that?
You told me when we were together in
Oh, right.
last year.
So crazy. Yeah.
And my voice is not ready to sing Ardine either. So we will pass on it. And
but because we speak about songs, we can speak about music with something we didn't know. We didn't know, Michael, with this design, especially for the amp of Doc. You designed it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's continue in music with the amp of Doc. We could see up. I will share the screen in full screen to see here the amp.
Yeah.
So if you want to go through the question and to tell us,
comment how was the idea? How did you conceive it?
Exactly.
Okay, the first thing is to, in case there are attorneys from Universal Studios watching, I want to say it is you who found these illustrations. It is you who are sharing them, because I cannot do that myself. I cannot share the work that I did on that movie, right? So, okay. So the giant speaker and amp, it's simple and it's kind of stupid, but it was wonderful. It was simple because it just has to be big. But really, if you make a really big speaker, the cone of that speaker will not move very freely, right? But it's a movie and you need that kind of, it's a little silly, but it's awesome. And then on top, we put other speakers on top. I bought all these speakers, all this crazy stuff. And we followed also the rules. When you make something yourself and you're a musician and you don't have a lot of money. We made the frame was all in plywood and then just painted with black paint with a roller, because that's what everyone does. Nobody takes the right material and upholsters it carefully over the case. No, it's always, when you build your own amp, when you make your own equipment, it's always plywood, always with paint from a roller, paint from a can and I found many parts, also the parts for the amplifier. I found a lot of parts. Well, I needed to find parts for so many things, right? The amplifier for the haut-parleur, for the big speaker, and I needed also parts for the brainwave analyzer, and I needed parts for many things. So I had fun with the giant speaker and amp. They made the cone of the speaker is made out of a special foam. Le cône était fabriqué en mousse de plastique. Et il y avait des fentes dedans. They made cracks in the back, and then they had an air cannon, and they destroyed the speaker, and it was scored so it would come apart, and the pieces would fly into the room. Plus, they had all this trash. But they knew, maybe we will need to do this several times, plusieurs fois. So they made the original in plaster. D'origine, le prototype était en plâtre. Le patron, puis-je dire ça, patron? Oui. Et puis, on a mis le mousse en plastique sur le patron. So we put the plastic foam on top of the plaster, but they made, I think, 3 or 4 so that we could do a number of takes, right? And I love that, they put the camera right on the dial, and there were all these extra dials that I got. It was great. The amp also was in plywood with paint from a roller. Yeah.
So it was a good memory to share. Sure. Yeah, it was incredible. And I have seen a photo of you with the brainwave analyzer in your head, and I see the same photo with Kevin Pike, and it was very difficult. I talked with Eric, and he said, "Oh, that's my friend Michael." I said, no, that's my friend Kevin. And we shared 2 photos, and both were very similar. One is with Kevin, and the other one is with Michael. Did Kevin work also on this brainwave analyzer or not?
It's Kevin's shop. C'était l'atelier de Kevin Pike.
Okay.
C'était toute son équipe qui faisait tous les travaux. So it was Kevin's shop, and it was his men who built everything. Really talented guys.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
really great.
Yeah,
Very creative, and a big friend of the association also.
He's amazing.
Exactly.
He was very patient with me, like you. Il était si patient avec moi. Very patient because, you know, to have the designer there, it could make things go very slow, you know. And I wanted to be sure that I solved problems and tried to make things go faster, not slower. But Kevin was very patient with me. Just a super nice guy.
Yeah, sure, I agree. He's super nice.
There's a question. Can you tell us more about the brainwave analyzer? For example, what was the first idea to do this? All these parts all together, crossed.
Yeah. So the art department, they called the research department at Universal Studio. Il y avait tout un département particulier pour faire les recherches pour les films. And so you could call the research department and say, you know, maybe you have some pictures of something on someone's head to analyze their head or something. And they had pictures of a crazy machine, which I think might be with X-ray sensors. I have no idea. So they showed me this crazy picture and said, just something crazy with this kind of feeling. So I made the drawings, and I was very careful to make it appear that a guy built this in his garage, you know, not a factory, not an expensive laboratory. Every piece was put together with little rivets, and the pieces were all cut out of sheet metal with snips, with shears, and the sensors, they were mounted with these little O-rings, just the way you would mount the tachometer of a racing motorcycle. So when people look at it, they should say, "Oh yeah, that guy built it in his garage." That's the idea, and it's totally crazy.
We have a surprise for you, Michael. We found we found the real duck. In fact, Dr. Scheffe. We don't know.
Oh, awesome! That's it. That's the picture they found.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is Dr. Shaw. I spoke with Kevin Pike, and he told me, as you said, that the original inspiration, etc., was from this picture. So the Dr. Shelley shoe, and it's very close to the brainwave analyzer. So you did a great job on it.
Well, they need, they have inspiration for the idea that comes from. They have very little time in the production art department. So everything, it's a race.
Everything is interesting to take.
If they get a photo, hey, that looks great. They'll give you a photo and say something like this.
Crazy. Really awesome.
Incredible. So, I think now we have show the up. This page, because now you are a teacher, I think, at the art center. No,
Sure.
I am right. Yeah. So, what's your class, Michael? Is some class about design or building, or what's the specialization you made to the student nowadays?
They have. When I was at Art Center, when John Bell was at Art Center, when Andy Probert was at Art Center, we were all transportation design. Actually, Andy may have been a transportation design, though, industrial design, because it's a great thing if you're going to design for the movies. It gives you experience in the practical and also in what's strong and how materials work. You can imagine something and then you understand how to draw and communicate your ideas. And now they have a department at Art Center called the Entertainment Design Department. And so I teach there, and I teach classes for vehicle and prop design. I don't know why they hired me. I don't know anything about it, but they, so I teach the vehicle and props class. I teach students how to paint, how to render. And I teach also our graduating students, they don't write a thesis, but they do make a show of their work. So they have a special show based around a story. And so I lead that class for our department as well with another really talented guy. And, you know, I left that school 44 years ago. I never thought I would come back. And it's the best job I ever had.
And you come back into the school you study. It's incredible. Yeah. You put some classes now. Wow, it's incredible. Yeah. And perhaps one day you will meet other guy to work on the movie.
It's just a miracle that it all happened. It's just a total surprise. I came to Los Angeles just to study design. I never thought I would live in Los Angeles. I never thought, oh, I'll work in the movies, I'll work in TV. It's such a surprise to me. So, you know, it's important to know that, especially for young people, you should know it's not foolish or naive to have hope. J'espère que les gens, surtout les jeunes, sachent qu'il n'est ni bête ni naïf d'avoir gardé, nourrir les espoirs. Yeah, it's so important.
It's important. Yeah,
and so I tell my students that too.
Yeah, it's a good conclusion for your student, Michael.
Yeah.
And I have also another little question, because it's a question we wonder about the artists who designed the Police Il Valais emblem, because this is the auction of today.
Yes.
The Il Valais emblem, up, I will share this screen, and up, you could note, up here. Yes, this is the Il Valais emblem today for the auction. Is a production used item from Back to the Future. And in fact, even having the certificate of authenticity, and I've been trying to find some information everywhere, I don't know who designed this emblem. Have you an idea, Michael? Was it yours or not?
It's not mine. You know, John Bell and Tim Flattery designed a lot of stuff too. Tim Flattery designed the police car for the Positive 2015. That may be for it looks like it's for the police cars for the Bad 2015. Yeah. So like I say, the department was big, and we actually had a professional graphic artist who worked
as a team.
Yeah, her name was Susan Schenken. Really great. So when you see the new Pepsi bottles, all that stuff, it was she designed those with Pepsi Cola. Yeah. So she may have worked on that. Also, some really talented art directors may have had a hand in the design. Jim Teagarden, maybe Ed Verreau. And then, because the art department was big on part two. So I don't, my guess would be probably Rick Carter had an idea, and maybe Susan or possibly John or Tim worked with that. I think Tim had a different logo on his police car in the Positive Future, right? It had a star, I think, avec une étoile. So, my guess would be probably Susan Schenken worked with the sign shop at Universal to make that.
Okay.
Because if you look closely, it's got Biff's face there, right?
Exactly.
Biff World. Yeah. Yeah, it's so crazy. It's just great.
It's a real piece of history.
Yeah, it is.
Definitely for Team Fox to try to raise funds. So guys, don't be shy and make some donation for this item, because it was it. It was it.
Well, yeah.
No, Mike.
I know we're running out of time, and I don't. Will we end at 12 or so?
No, you have some time if you want.
Oh, is there? Okay. Well, I was. Okay.
Yeah, that's what you want.
Well, before we leave, I just wanted to thank you, of course, and say hi to the French and Japanese friends, people all over the world. It's been a difficult year, and I know people have suffered, and I still see people helping each other, and it's good to see that. It's good for your heart. And helping others, I know it's the objective of 88 miles an hour. Do you say 88 miles per hour?
Miles à l'heure. Yeah, exactly.
And of Team Fox, right? That's helping others. And I'm very impressed by the effort and the goodwill, too. It's... I guess I don't have to say that in French, but cette année est difficile. Et je sais comment tout le monde a souffert. Et néanmoins, je vois comment beaucoup de gens ont rendu de l'aide aux autres. Et j'aime voir une telle chose. C'est rassurant et c'est bon. Ça m'a fait du bien. Rendre de l'aide aux autres est aussi le but de l'organisation 88 miles an hour et de Team Fox, bien sûr. Je suis tellement impressionné par tant d'efforts et tant de bonne volonté.
Thank you so much, Michael.
Merci, Michael, d'être là, parce qu'évidemment, ça pourrait pas se faire sans toi et sans les autres guests qui nous aidaient à supporter Team Fox. Un grand merci. Merci pour ta passion, merci pour ton humilité aussi.
It's the main goal of our association, to raise funds to fight Parkinson. And
of course.
It's the main goal. So yes, as you, I want to thank people who make donation and who support us since years now, because it's very important. And we are not speaking only about COVID this year, and there are still disease which continues, and we have to fight against, and the need cure also. So it's very important to continue the fight, and particularly this one with Michael J. Fox. We don't see that for our pal Michael J. Yeah, of course.
But people are capable of wonderful things, and it's a beautiful thing when people get together and try to do something they believe in, try to do a good thing for the world. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. If you make movies, yeah, it's amusing for people, but it's very different to really help people to have a better life, to help the sick, and it's a lovely thing to see.
Thank you so much. And I want to finish with the last comment, which is, I think, up. I will take. He said up, and this one.
Wow.
Thanks to the amazing song of Françoise. Of course. But,
elle a chanté une chanson qui s'appelait Si c'est vraiment vrai, je pense. Et la chanson était si belle ou beau. Une chanson? Ou chanson? Une chanson, hein?
Il y a une chanson.
Une chanson vraiment belle. Vraiment belle.
On va essayer de la trouver, Michael.
Si c'est vraiment vrai.
Tu nous feras.
That's the title, Michael.
Oh oui, I can look it up. Yeah, I think so. Let me just forgive me for a moment, and I will just look and see.
Françoise Hardy singing your song. Yeah.
Where is it?
I could try to find it.
Oui, vraiment vrai. Yeah. It's it's like, où as-tu posé cette question usée par une tonne de doutes passés dessus? Je sais qu'il est tard, mais je voudrais pouvoir la ressortir. Est-ce que tu l'as vu? Anyway, it's a very beautiful song, and the music is superb, and I love her voice. So
we will listen Françoise Hardy tonight.
Yes.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you, Michael. Thank you so much for all you have done for us today. It was an incredible interview. We have learned a lot of things
full of passion.
Exactly. Yeah, it's important to share those things with fans and to see the patient 30 years after. And wow, thank you for your kindness. Thank you to be here. Yeah. And thanks to support the cause, because as I always repeat with all of you guys, you come here freely to support us, to help us, to raise the cause. Yes. And it's important to be a Back to the Future family and to fight all together against Parkinson's disease. Michael J. will appreciate, I'm sure.
Absolutely. So I send my best wishes and my thanks for your interest. Je vous envoie mes meilleurs vœux et mes remerciements pour votre intérêt et votre temps. And merci Mitch and Emmett Gigawatt.
A real pleasure.
A real pleasure. Thank you so much.
À la prochaine, hein?
Exactly. Let's make another one. It was very interesting. Yeah.
Thank you. Très plaisir pour moi aussi. Okay. See you guys.
Merci à toi.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Be safe.
Bye-bye. And take care of you. Thanks.
Okay, you too.
Wow.
Fantastic.
Exactly. Wonderful.
Michael, always so humble, so nice. Yes. We love him.
Exactly. And he made a great work in Back to the Future with a lot of designs. Incredible. It's incredible. So now we will continue perhaps with the auction. Speaking with the no, we have Pedro. Yes, exactly. Thank you, Doug.
Yeah, don't forget our friends, our brand from Spain, Regreso al Futuro, 88 miles per hour association in Spain, and Pedro.
We have some things to share today because Pedro have made an incredible work with some tips and tricks from the Back to the Future. And today I want to share two things. Yeah. The first one is the origin of Marty's badge. So I don't know if a lot of you guys know this anecdote, but in fact, the origin of Marty's badge is taken from the cover of a Russian exhibition based on a painting by Lisitsky. As you could see, it's the origin of Marty's badge. So we're very happy to know this little anecdote coming from our friend Pedro. And we have another, which is up, what the eyes does not see. And as you could note, this is the Marty's letter.
Great Scott!
And here you could find two versions because there were a lot of plans, a lot of shoot of this sequence. And on the first one, on
so
the left,
finally, what Marty receives is not what he
exactly.
What he wrote.
The good one. It is not the good one.
What happened?
It was a fake. Wow. No, so you could note some difference, like the word "terrible," which is not on the right, but on the left of the letter.
Yeah.
So
please take whatever.
Exactly.
Like
so
she wrote
a lot of
on 3 lines instead of 2.
a lot of things very different. So thank you, Pedro, and here we have still the banner. We have to cancel because Mike is not
to let open to let see the Michael J. Fox Foundation logo.
So up this way you could see it better. Yeah. Michael J. Fox Foundation.
Because now it's time for the auction.
Exactly. Yeah. It's time for the auction. So as Michael said, it's a great piece of history coming from the Hill Valley police car in Back to the Future, and car and trucks, because they have also designed some trucks in Back to the Future #2. You could see them in the background. Mm-hmm. And in the background, there are some cars and big trucks of police in the Hill Valley city. And this one was a production made. So what's the difference between a production made and a screen used? Firstly, the screen used was cut there just around the emblem to fill and to be stick on the cars and the trucks. So they cut this part. But firstly, when they made the emblem after the first sketch and the blueprints, perhaps, they made it, and in one part without the difference between the emblem and the page. So this one is the original production one, which was used on the production during the set, but not used as a stickers on cars and trucks, because if it was used, it will be cut there. So this is an original production made, which was unused on the set of Back to the Future. There are few in the world in this mint condition, because it's quite new and he has more than 35 years now. So you have to understand that it's a really a great piece of history. And here you could find the certificate of authenticity, which said some things about the emblem. So we will start in my Facebook page in few minutes.
How many times do they have to bid?
Yeah, so now
we changed the rules.
We have changed some rules about the bidding, because we think that only having 30 minutes is complicated, because we have guys from USA, we have guys from Japan, we have guys from Australia, from France, from Germany, from Spain, etc. So all over the world.
Netherlands also.
For Netherlands, that they want to bid on items in auction. So to be fair and to let sufficient time to everyone in the world, from the East Coast to Japan, we will open each bid each day after the interview. So for this one, I will open the auction just right now in few minutes. And then we will let the auction available from the next day, so tomorrow, just before the interview of the guest. So just after visiting Hill Valley. So if you're not able to bid right now or during the day, etc., you have the chance to continue to bid
till 8,
exactly, till
French
8
hour.
French hour, and during the sequence of Hill Valley. And at the end of the sequence of Hill Valley, we will close the auction, and the higher bid will win. Very easy.
Of course.
Yeah,
of course. What is the starting price?
The starting price for it, it's about 350. So this is really a great investment, because it's a value around 700 euros. And in mint condition like that, it's a production one, so it's a great piece of investment. And not only this one, but it's also a great charity donation you will make for the Michael J. Fox Foundation. So you have two great things of thinking about when you want to bid, want to help the cause, and to make a great piece of investment, because it was it.
Yeah.
All right. So the starting price 350, a value around 700, and all those funds benefits Michael J. and the Team Fox as always. So now I think we have
don't hesitate.
Don't be shy. I will open the auction in few minutes in my profile, and starting at 350, and then hopefully we could raise a lot of money for this item and to make a big donation for the Team Fox. Okay?
As always, do not forget, each donation is important, whatever the amount. You can always do donations for Team Fox, even directly on the Michael J. Fox Foundation site, but also with our page on the Michael J. Fox Foundation, the page from 88 Miles Per Hour Association. As we already said, but it's always important to say, we have now 88 Miles Per Hour Association 3 years. We are existing since 3 years, and we have been existed since 3 years. Sorry for my English. And very important, each year we donate more and more because you are involved. So thank you all because you are always
to
there
support us,
to support our actions,
and to support our accent also. Our English
during
accent.
2 hours. Poor guys, sorry. And this year we should reach more than $3,000 of donations.
We have yet reached.
Yeah, we have already. So we will do more.
We will do,
and
sure, with your help, we could reach perhaps 4,000 or more. So
So let's bid.
Exactly.
Let's donate.
It's important. And as Doc said, if you don't want to bid on this item and another one, you could ever do a donation writing on michaeljfox.org or via our page to make a donation in the Team Fox. And this is my first capacitor. I want to travel through time like Michael said. I want to meet Jesus. Me too.
Yeah.
So no reason. So. And it's very important.
It's good that you said that, because if you want to meet Jesus or others, just a small advertisement.
You could also.
Advertisement, but also a good action, because I don't know if you know it, but it's only for the moment for French people, French language people, but we are working on the US and American version.
Are you kidding? You said that we will have this book in an English version?
It's possible.
Wow.
Something tell me that it should come next year. Yes, so we have done this book, in fact, that was, and we are very honored with it. That was
we're talking about Voyage Temporel.
We are talking about our book Voyage Temporel that was approved by Bob.
By our boss,
Bob Gell, the boss.
Gell.
The boss approved our project, and it's a small book with a lot of jokes, taking in account the sentences, all the well-known sentences of the trilogy, or the favorite sentences, but replaced in another historical or musical context. Always music and history.
And talking about Jesus, Doc.
And talking also about Jesus, but don't say anything. You have to discover it if you do not have already.
Behind-the-scenes stories are inside.
And very important, because as we said, we support Team Fox, and also with this book we support Team Fox, because for each book that you will buy,
€1 will go to Team Fox.
Our editor, give €1 for Team Fox.
Great, Scott.
So here also you can laugh. And but also make a nice
thing, a nice donation,
a nice
this book. Yeah. So a lot of ways to make donations through michaeljfox.org, through our website, through the auctions, etc., etc. So let's now starting the bid on the emblem, right? So. See you tomorrow.
Time travelers. Thanks for watching.
Be there.
Bye-bye. Be safe. And don't forget the social distance.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're okay.
You have to respect. It's very important.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. See you tomorrow.
Guys. See you.
Bye-bye.